I was born and raised in Hong Kong. When I was in 4th grade, one day I was detained after school. And my teacher was yelling at me, "You will never graduate from high school." Sadly, he was almost right. So I ended up with really dropped out from high school. I went to a trade school to become an electronic technician. After 18 months of training, I graduated and I got a job in a factory. Imagine this. I was working in a factory in an assembly line on the 11th floor. Back then, assembly line, is, you may or may not know, it keeps going because you cannot be late. So if you are late, you will get deducted quite a bit and without bonus and all that. So every morning, if you get close to the starting time, everybody is rushing in to get in the elevator. I'm on the 11th floor. So one morning, very memorable, I was a little close to that. It's just like everybody else ran into the elevator and everybody climbed into the elevator. And then it started going up. All of a sudden, we heard some funny noise. As soon as we realized that, the elevator began to reverse, going down. Fortunately, the cable held, but because of the overweight, it went all the way down several feet below the ground floor. So we all have to climb out, going out there. Unfortunately, most of us that day would get a deduct on our pay on that day. So I was working in a factory for a little bit over a year, and the hectic every day to go through that. And then I think a bit about myself. That's not the kind of life I really wanted to do. So I was looking and searching, and I found out a very good program in California that have additional technical training. So I thought, oh, that maybe open up some more doors for me. So I came to Berkeley, California, initially enrolled to a ESL, English as a second language. Try to improve my English. Still working on that part. I was just by chance living in a boarding school right next to the campus of UC Berkeley. So all of the other students are very smart, very hardworking students. Half of them are graduate scholars. They work really hard. That kind of inspired me. Wow, all these people are really smart and they work really, really hard. So that inspired me of that, well, I need to think about my academic. So with that experience, that inspired me. I actually enrolled in Berkeley Adult High School and finished my high school diploma. Of course, UC Berkeley is not within my reach, but life is interesting, had a way of coming in full circle. Not did I know at the time, 50 years later, my son would have graduated from UC Berkeley Law School with a JD and a master in public policy. As for me, I managed to get an undergrad degree from Oregon State and get a master of computer science and an MBA from State U of New York. After that, I worked in IT for 12, 13 years or so. Initially, I worked in the East Coast for a couple of the insurance companies, but I loved coming back to California. So I came back to California and worked with a couple of the computer manufacturer and a semiconductor. And I became an IT consultant. One of my favorite projects was consulting with the state of California. There were 30+ programmer team, and I was the chief database designer there. So all in all, I had a good run in my IT career. But deep in my heart, I said, I want to be my own boss. I want to own my own business. So I left the IT world and get into real estate business, only to find out I used to report to only one boss. Now, since I am my own business, every customer becomes my boss. Go figure. So 30 years later in real estate, closed over $200 million in loans and real estate transactions. I learned a few things along the way. In a few moments ahead, I will share with you why real estate and the rule of 72 about mortgages and green home, as well as ADU accessory dwelling unit that will benefit you as a homeowner. Andrew Carnegie said one time, 90% of all millionaires become so through owning real estate. Why real estate? I said real estate because it's ideal, I-D-E-A-L. I stands for income, rental income. D, depreciation and deferrable. Real estate are one of the very few things that when you sell, you don't have to pay Uncle Sam, you can defer the income. E stands for equity build up as you pay down your mortgages. A, appreciation. Your house only needs to keep up with inflation and the property value goes up. L, leverage, because you use other people's money to increase the return of your investment. Talking about investment, there's one thing you need to learn is the rule of 72. What is the rule of 72? It says if you take rule of 72 divided by the percentage of the annual return, that will tell you how long it doubles your investment. For example, if you have a 5% annual return on your investment, you take 72 divided by 5, that means it's a 14.4 year, it doubles your money. Now, real estate, you also want to learn about leverage, unless you have a briefcase of cash to buy all cash property. Most of us put 20% down, 5%, 30%, whatever. Let's say most people put 20% down. That also means it's a 5-to-1 ratio, meaning if the property increased 5%, you really is increased 25% from your down payment. Meaning if you take 72 divided by the 25, it's really 2.88, or let's say around 3 years to double your investment. That's why you want to invest in real estate. Think real estate. Now, once you own a home, there are 3 areas I like you to consider. Number 1 is mortgage. Mortgage is just a tool to help you to take control of the property so you can own it. And then hopefully they will appreciate you make money on that. Okay. So your goal is, of course, buy the property if you don't have one yet. As soon as you buy it, you want to get rid of that mortgage, meaning you want to find a way to pay it off as soon as you can. A lot of people don't realize that. I would suggest you go to search on the Google. One of the things, for example, is called bank, B-A-N-K, bankrate.com. It will give you a calculator to tell you how much additional you put in there and how long that will take you to shorten your mortgage. For example, if you put 10% more every year, your mortgage will be cut short from a 30-year to around a 26, 27 years. That 10% you put is the best investment you ever had because over the 30-year mortgage, the return on that payment is 165%. If you put 20% down more every month, that is 155% return on your investment, that additional 20%. So you need to learn that. And number 2, a lot of people not realize, you want to minimize your costs owning your home. Other than the mortgage, what are they? It's the utility, meaning you want to consider to convert your home to be a green home, utilizing solar technology and heat pump technology, because heat pump only use 1/3 of the energy to do that. Third is to build an ADU, accessory dwelling unit, in your backyard. I have been teaching people, sharing people to buy investment property. But building an ADU in your backyard, most of you may know the most expensive about real estate is on the land, not necessarily on the construction. Since building an ADU in your backyard, you already own the land. So that is the cheapest way to own an investment unit. On the green home, by the way, I did not mention that you also can go to greenhomeinstitute.org to find out all the detail about that. And as for ADU, you can go to aarp.org/ADU to find out all the information about the benefit of ADU and how to build it. Now, for those of you, you're lucky enough to own a property that is free and clear. And if you are 62 and older, I'd like you to listen this carefully, okay? If you're 62, if you have equity in your home, go to get a reverse mortgage. Even you don't need the money. I will share with you why in a minute, okay? A reverse mortgage is a federal sponsor program. It has all the features that protect the senior. So it's not your grandmother reverse mortgage anymore because it has significant improvement on there. The reason is on a reverse mortgage, a mortgage payment is optional because you don't have to pay them. Nobody will come to your door to ask you to make a payment. That's the beauty of it, okay? How are you going to use the money if you can borrow? Okay, use that for any investment purpose, okay? To use that to convert from your IRA to a Roth IRA so you don't have to pay Uncle Sam, okay? Use that to buy another investment property. Use that to buy annuity. Use that to build an ADU. Build an ADU in your son's backyard. Build your ADU in your grandson's backyard and move in. Now, there's one secret. I don't know why. One of these days, I need to talk to some of those big companies. Even the reverse mortgage loan officer don't tell you about it. This is the secret, and I still don't know, figure out why they didn't tell people. All reverse mortgage home equity line of credit had something what they call growth rate built into that, meaning currently is at 4% to 4.75%. Your equity line will increase by that percentage every year. Currently, the guideline 2023, the loan limit for the reverse mortgage is a $1 million property. So you cannot borrow 100%. Reverse mortgage will allow you to borrow 40 to 60%. Let's say you have $1 million equity. Let's say you only borrow 40%. That means $400,000, right? If you put $400 there, now, by the way, you don't have to pay any interest because you're not using the money. Now, yes, you do have to pay closing costs to get the loan, yeah. But once you do, you have $400,000 there. If it increases 4% a year, take 72 divided by 4. It will take 18 years to double it. Meaning, if you are age 62, you put a $400,000 equity there. If you're not doing anything, by the age of 80, you have $800,000 available for you to use anything you wanted to do. If I were you, I would take my spouse, go to around the world, take $100K, right, for example. But you can use that for your emergency fund, for your medical bill, for anything at all, or buy investment property or whatever. So that is the biggest secret. A lot of people don't know that. Take advantage of it. Bank had a funny way to do that. They will loan you the money when you don't need it. If you don't need to use the money, get the damn equity line and let it grow. It's just a reserve money sitting there waiting for you whenever you need it. I'm glad we have an opportunity to speak with you there. And I hope you learn something about this here. I hope someday when come across our path, and I would love to hear your story. How do you use this knowledge to help you improve your housing, your financial situation? Thank you.